All right, number 7, page 2. Quadratic function at the top of the page. Does the parabola open up or down? You know by the A term, and this is in the proper order, so A equals a -2, B equals 28, C equals 96. And since A is, less than 0, because it's a negative number, then what does it look like? Then the parabola opens downward, so it has a maximum. It's almost the opposite is how I remember it. It's a negative, so it opens down, which is kind of the same, but if it opens down, then it has a maximum, which is the opposite, but try to figure out a way to remember that. So this is a downward. The y-intercept is the first thing they asked. I kind of like the vertex first, but shouldn't mess you up asking in different orders. If y is an intercept, then you have a 0x and you have a y. So that means x equals 0 at a y-intercept. So -2, 0 squared plus 28, 0 minus 96. That's going to be a y equals a -96, or if they want an ordered pair, it's 0, 96 for a y-intercept. The x-intercepts, you're going to have to solve for x. So I'm going to use the quadratic formula just because it's my default. I could take a 2 out, but let's just do it as it is. We should get the same answer no matter what. That's the good news about a quadratic formula. What was that? -2. And C is 96. Ooh, -96. Make sure you get those signs in there. And 2 times A, and A is -2 in this case. So that's the setup. -28 plus or minus, and I crunched all this through. There's 3 negatives, so she should end up with a negative there, but then 28 times 28 is a pretty big number, so it comes out to a +16 over -4. So -28 plus or minus 4 over -4. So let's see, -28 plus 4 over -4. Excuse me. -24, negative over a negative is a positive, so an x-intercept would be at 6 and 0. And -28 minus 4 over -4, 32. Negative and a negative would also be a positive, 8, 0. So these are my x-intercepts. Y-intercepts, be nice and clear. My vertex, I'm going to use the vertex formula. So x equals -b over 2a equals -28 over 2 times -2. Negative is a positive. So that's the x part. When x is 7, what is y? Is -2, 7. Put that in. And apparently all that equals 2. So make sure you follow orders of operations. Make sure you're doing 49 times -2. Okay? All right, that's number 7. Number 8 says, draw the parabola including the vertex on all the intercepts. Alrighty. I like to start with the vertex. I could write down somewhere that A equals 1, B equals 8, and C equals 15. It's just a good habit. So my B is -8 plus or minus Oh, wait, nope, not doing the, sorry. Vertex, negative. Vertex does come from the part of the front part of the quadratic formula. Just don't forget you're doing just the front part. So b is negative 8 over 2 times 1 equals negative 8 over 2 equals negative 4. All right, and then y equals negative 4 in 4x. So positive 16 minus 32 plus 15 apparently comes out to a negative 1. Let me check that in my calculator real quick. Yep. So my vertex is negative 4, negative 1. Negative 4, negative 1. Right there. Okay. You're always going left or right on the x-axis first. So go all the way over and find your first number, negative 4. If it's a positive number, you're going the other way. So you're always going right or left first by the first number, and then you're going up and down to find the next number on the axis. It says negative 1. So we're going here and then down to negative 1. So you should be able to follow that back. There's a negative 4 there and a negative 1 there. Okay, so we're in the, I don't like putting other dots on there, but that's where the vertex is. All right, so then I need a y-intercept, and I need a couple of yes, think about that for a second. If a is a positive number, if it's a positive number, remember up here I had a was a negative number and it was upside down, so a is greater than 0, so it goes upward. Okay, so it definitely has two x-intercepts because it has to go up. So, and it should have a y-intercept that may or may not be still on the graph depending on how wide, how fat open it is. So let's go with the intercepts next. I believe this factors, right? So I don't have to use the quadratic if I don't want to, but I could if I don't want to factor it. It doesn't matter. Plus and a, since this is a plus and a plus, the answer is a plus and a plus. Factors of 15, which are 3 and 5. The zero property says, pardon me, I need to drink water, I think. Says that my x-intercepts are at negative 3 and negative 5. That's ordered pairs would be negative 3, 0 and negative 5, 0. So negative 5, 0 is there, negative 3, 0 is there. Okay, so that's going up, and those are my x-intercepts. My y-intercept, just before I graph this thing, make sure it's in the picture or not in the picture. So if it's a y-intercept, the x is 0. Put that in everywhere there's an x. So 0 squared plus 8 times 0 plus 15 equals 15. So my y-intercept is 0, 15. So that's off the scale. So it's good enough to just kind of go like this and kind of swoop up like that the best you can. Okay? This little x here had to do with the x's. If that helps, definitely put, x's and y then. Okay. And this is off graphs. I can't put it on there. All right, how about this one here? It's in the proper order, so my A is negative 1, my B is negative 4, and my C is 5. Because my A is less than 0, it's going to open downward. So I'm going to have a maximum. So let's find the vertex. negative 4 is b, so a negative negative over 2 times a. There's lots of negatives in there. This is going to negative negative is a positive over a negative 2, so that's going to be a negative 2 for the first part of my vertex. y equals what when x is negative 2? So you want to put the negative 2 squared minus 4 times negative 2 plus 5. So orders of operation says negative 1 times 4 plus negative 4 times a negative is a positive equals 5. So y equals, let's go over here, 9. I'm kind of making, I need more space to do some other stuff. All right, so that's a 9, and this is the vertex. So go to negative 2, and then up to a positive 9 goes up here. Okay, negative 2, 9. All right, so we know it's going to, that makes sense because it's going to open downward, so we're probably having a y-intercept as well, and a y-intercept x is always 0, so what's y if x is 0? Those are all 0, so that's going to be 5. So the y-intercept, save some space here, the y-intercept is 0, 5. 0, 5 is right there. So it's going to be coming down, and it's going to hit the x-axis for sure. Let's find out where it hits it by solving for x. So I'm going to use the quadratic formula. I don't think, I'm not going to factor it because there's a negative x squared. So I'm going to use the quadratic formula. So a negative b plus or minus square root of, b squared minus 4 times a, which is a negative 1, times c, 2 times a. So that's going to be positive 4 plus or minus square root of 16 plus 20. Yep. Oops, no, it's plus 20, which is 36. Over negative 2. So that's going to be 4 plus 6 over negative 2. That's 10 over negative 2 equals negative 5. And 4 minus 6 over negative 2, which is negative 2 over negative 2, which is a 1. So 0. Negative 5, 0, and 0 is for y, is what I was thinking, and 1 and 0 here, and these are x-intercepts. So let's see, negative 5, 0, and 1, 0, right there. All right, then do my best to sort of draw this way. That's sad, but that's okay. Remember, this is a good one to show you. The axis of symmetry goes down the middle. So this is 1, 2, 3 over to here, and this is 1, 2, 3 over to here. So these dots are correct, that's where that is. They have to be equal distance away from the axis of symmetry because parabolas can be perfectly folded in half along their axis there. So this was 0, 5. This was 1, 0. This was negative 5, 0. So there was 4 points of key points that I could put on here. Okay? That's it for this page.